Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a little quick review on the Artisan extra large mouse pad. Now this does come around at $80, but hands down this is probably the best mouse pad I've ever had, and I'll tell you guys why. So the first amazing thing about this mouse pad is the grip. The grip is incredible. I mean, this thing does not move at all. To give you a little comparison, here's me tugging on it. Like, I'm not kidding. I'm putting a lot of force into this right now. I'm serious. Like, I cannot move this at all. It's literally glued to the table. But you can just, pop it up if you want to. It's very easy. Now, here's a cloth pad. This is my old one. I mean, this is half of what the force I was just using on the other pad, on the Artisan. And, it moves very easily. Now, secondly, the speed on this mouse pad is the best speed on any mouse pad I've ever tried, hands down. It feels like you have legit aimbot, and I'll explain why. So first of all, when it gets hot and you have a cloth mouse pad, the tension between you moving your mouse on a cloth pad when it's hot and it gets wet and damp and sweaty or whatever, it gets super hard to move it. Micro adjustments and even just flicking in general, it gets extremely difficult to do that. And it's difficult in general. However, on this mouse pad, the Artisan, I mean, there is no challenge at all in creating micro adjustments, making big moves, little adjustments, flicks. I mean, this thing is incredible. Now, it is fast, but it's not fast enough to where you cannot control what you're doing. And that's what I was really worried about getting this pad. I was watching a lot of reviews before, and everyone was saying how fast it was compared to their old one, and that it was very hard to control. But I'm telling you now, it is not as fast as you think compared to a cloth one. No, it is faster, don't get me wrong, and that is so much better in my opinion, but it's definitely not fast enough where you cannot control what you're doing. To give you an example, here's me just slide my mouse across. Here, I'll get a better view on that. That's, minimal force, just sliding it. And yeah, this is on a cloth pad. I mean, you can see definitely doesn't move as far, and it does take me a little more force to toss it around. Now, also what's amazing about this pad is that the dust accumulation is like non-existent, and if it is there, you can just, that's all you gotta do, really. I mean, I got this morning, but what I've noticed so far is that any dust that literally falls in this thing, you can use a lint roller, pretty much anything you really want. You can even just use your hands, like I'm doing, just flicking it right off. Now, compared to the cloth pad, I mean, you can see the difference. Don't get me wrong, I cleaned this pad around a month ago, and it gets this dirty this quickly. And that can very much fluster with your aim and how you play, for sure. This pad, that's no problem. There's none of that. So the size of the mouse pad is amazing. It's larger than what I expected, to be honest. And that's a good thing. I like large mouse pads. And I recommend to you probably get the large one if you're, a slower sensitivity player, or, an average sensitivity player. If you're a fast sensitivity player and you're already used to a smaller pad, then you don't have to get the large pad. Though, I mean, this is a very large pad compared to other extra large pads. This is larger than most, and it really comes in use to me. Now I'm going to talk about very minor cons that kind of I noticed when I got this pad. The first being The texture of the pad is pretty rough compared to normal other pads, I guess, or compared to a cloth pad. It's pretty rough on your arm. Now, after playing for probably about 3 hours today using this pad, over time I definitely stopped noticing this on my arm. I kind of just got used to it. But if you're a person that has sensitive skin or gets irritated very easily, this might not be the pad for you, or you can try to buy a sports sleeve, or you just wear a long sleeve. But for me personally, I don't like wearing those two because it kind of, gets in the way of my arm moving and stuff like that. So yeah, but that's one little gripe I have, is that the texture is pretty rough, but other than that, I think it's totally fine. So the second con is the price. The price I paid for this was $80, though I did not pay for this myself. It was actually a gift for my birthday. So if, I think this would be a great, birthday gift or a Christmas gift, but in my opinion, I would not spend $80 on a mouse pad. That's a little too much for my budget. Maybe if it was like $50, I think this pad will be worth it. Don't get me wrong, this pad exceeded my expectations for just how amazing it feels when you're, aiming with this, but $80 might not be in the range for some people. So lastly, guys, I'm gonna show you guys some clips that I hit in Valorant today, and this was all in the same game, just to let you guys know. And I've never been called a cheater before in Valorant. Actually, no, one other time, but it was a long time ago. And this was the second time I ever got called a cheater, and it was using this mouse pad. So if you guys want to get called a cheater, get this mouse pad. But here you guys go.
Over here.
Spike planted.
Thank you.
Grounded.
One enemy remaining. Last player standing.
Cutting through. Back off.
Faster.
Enemy spotted A. One enemy remaining.
A what? I just got a collat. I just got a collat.
Here.
Here.
You're done.
Spike down A.